A capacitor is a physical device capable of storing energy in the form of electric field in the dielectric medium when voltage is applied across it. So what basically happens is a capacitor has two plates, and these two plates are connected to a battery, uh, and between these two plates we have a dielectric medium. So what this dielectric medium is, it is an insulator, but when charge is applied across it, the electrons the electrons in the uh, dielectric medium gets shifted to a place uh, towards the negative towards the positive plate, and the holes will get uh, shift towards the negative plates. So as you know, the electrons travel from negative side, so these plates will get negatively charged and this plate will get positively charged. So no electron is actually passing from this stage to this stage directly. This electric field is in between, so the energy is stored in this electric field. And then we have capacitance. Capacitance is the measure of capacitor's capacity. It is given by the famous formula of V equals to Q by C, or Q equals to CV. If we know this is, or the voltage is equals to 1 by C. C is our capacitor's capacity. It is measured in farad. Farad is a very large number, so we take microfarad or millifarad. 10 microfarad, for example, 10 microfarad, 1 nanofarad, picofarad. Okay, so if this states that this integration from minus infinity to the time where we have to where we are seeing the voltage and the sum of the charge, sum of the current, okay, at that point. And if we do a and then from this, if we do differentiation from this, we get I equals to C dV by dt, which gets us the current through the capacitor. Okay, then C, you can calculate the value of C, which is equals to the epsilon naught, which is permittivity of free space, times the area of the plate divided by the distance between these plates. So the surface area of these plates and the distance between these two plates, we can calculate the capacitor's farad. Okay, then we have two types of connection. If we are going to connect the capacitors in series, we will get the equivalent of capacitors equals to 1 divided by the 1 by C1. So 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2, and this is, and you can also remember that when easily remember this by when you connect resistors in parallel. So this is the same rule. So if you connect series connection of capacitors, which is and the parallel capacitors, parallel connection of resistor, the formula is basically the same. Replace the value of R in that with C1, C2 and up to Cn. Okay, then we have parallel connection of capacitor. The parallel connection of capacitor, we connect the capacitor in parallel, so the equivalent capacitance is given by the sum of the individual capacitance up to n times. Then we are going to understand to the basic thing about impedance. So if impedance comes in the AC circuit, when we are going to talk about the sinusoidal or alternating currents. Okay, uh, so here we have an example. We have a battery which is connected across a resistor. So this resistors offers X ohm of resistance to current. Okay, so this resistance offer X ohm of current. Similarly, if we connect a capacitor to a voltage source, a alternating current voltage source, what will happen? A capacitor will also offer resistance, but the resistance offered is frequency dependent and also known as reactance. So the capacitor also offers resistance and it is known as reactance. So reactance is given by Xc is equals to 1 divided by 2 pi. This is the angular frequency. Okay, angular frequency, then 2 pi f, and then it is multiplied by C, the capacitance. Okay, so that will, so if we are talking about pure DC signals, we are not talking about impedance. If we are talking about an AC signal, we are going to talk about impedance in place of resistance. Basically both are resistance. Then, as you know, the impedance has a frequency component into it, so that means there is a, its value depends upon the frequency. So 2 is constant, pi is constant, C is the capacitor value is constant if you choose in a circuit. The frequency varies. So at different frequency, capacitors offer different type of reactance. So at F, if the value of the frequency tends to 0, then your reactance will also tend to infinity. Means it is a very large reactance. So what will happen at F tends to 0 hertz? The frequency is very high. Say, as in a DC circuit, the reactance is very high and the current is equal to low, and the capacitor will behave as open circuit. That's why when you connect a capacitor across a battery, you will get a open circuit and you will not get any voltage. So if F tends to infinity, if the frequency tends to infinity, means the frequency is very large, the reactance of the capacitor also tends to 0, towards 0. So what will happen if the frequency tends to very high frequency, it tends to infinity, our reactance tends to be equals to 0. This will give us current equals to the maximum current that is flowing in the circuit. So it will behave as a short circuit. That's why capacitor, when does not conduct AC DC signals, and it always conducts AC signals. Then after that, the impedance is written with the help of complex numbers. Okay, so in capacitor, current leads the voltage. Okay, ICE, current leads the voltage. Impedance when we talk about AC signals, and so if we are talking about reactance and we are talking about impedance, so what is impedance? Impedance is nothing but the sum of the resistance component and the reactance component. Okay, so how we write it mathematically? Because resistor does not have a frequency component and it is a real quantity, and the frequency is an imaginary quantity Xc. It is real, but it is plotted against the imaginary axis because you can't see frequency, but the resistance offered is real. Okay, it is always true, and frequency you will get a variable. So what you will do is you will plot a resistance to the reactance and you will get a signal Z. Okay, impedance Z. So at some point you will get your impedance. So impedance, then there is an angle between the real part and the impedance, so that angle is known as theta. Okay, so now we are going to see. So z is now the z is a if we are if now we can say that z is a vector. It is a vector which is which is a pointing toward. So then how do you, so then we want to know its magnitude. Okay, the magnitude of the z from the original of this point from the origin. So you can just use this formula of square root of r square, which is the resistance square plus reactance squared, which will give you the magnitude of the impedance. Okay, then how, then this theta is known as the phase difference between the phase. Then you will in so the formula is tan inverse tangent inverse. You are talking about this tangent, and the formula states that the tangent is nothing but the sine xc divided by the real part. And since the phase is the current leads the voltage, remember that, and you will know that you have to add minus of 90 degree into it. So you can write it as minus of tan inverse x r by xc. Okay, also. So now this is how you can write it. So z vector is equals to magnitude of the z and the theta of the z. Okay, so this is in the polar notation, and this is in your spherical notation, where r is the radius from the origin and e is the Euler's number to the power of j theta. So if you are going to expand this, you will get r cos theta plus j sin theta, or you can say r real part is equals to r cos theta and the reactance part equals to r